Okay, the Declan Rice saga continues. Manchester City put in a bid, which was similar to the Arsenal bid in the fact that it was worth £90 million. Only difference was where Arsenal gave 75 million plus 15 million in add-ons, Manchester City gave 80 million with 10 million add-ons. Now, Manchester City had to have known that it was going to be rejected, and it was earlier today. So, because West Ham, and rightfully so, was holding out for £100 million for Declan Rice. Okay, that's where they value him, and Arsenal's going to come in with a third bid. They've had two bids rejected already. Manchester City has had one, and it's really playing out exactly as you'd expect it to. And ultimately, what's going to come down to is like if Arsenal comes in with a bid that West Ham accept, will Manchester City come in with a bid that's even better than Arsenal's, and putting Declan Rice in a position where he has to choose between Arsenal and Manchester City. And some people seem to think that he's going to choose Arsenal because it was reported over the weekend that he's chosen Arsenal. That's the team he wants to go to. And that Manchester City had held off on bidding for Declan Rice because they felt he wanted to go to Arsenal. But clearly, that's not the case now. Okay, clearly it comes down to Declan Rice. What does he want to do? He's leaning towards Arsenal right now, but how would you turn down Manchester City if they're coming in looking for you? He's settled in London. His family's in London. That's where he wants to stay. But if Manchester City come calling with the trophies that they're winning, and Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, that's a very difficult thing to turn down, and that's something that Arsenal needs to look at in terms of making this next bid. Now, in my opinion, if they come in with a bid of say like £90 million plus 15 million add-on, making it 105 million, I'm not sure that's going to cut it for West Ham. Okay, I think maybe 95 million plus 15 million, make it 110 million. I think that is probably what will get it over the line for Arsenal. But again, it's also going to come down to Declan Rice. Now, to me, in my personal opinion, I think Manchester City bid 80 million plus 10 million, 90 million. I think they knew they were going to get rejected, but I think they're doing this to send Arsenal a message. They're saying, hey, if you're going to get Declan Rice, you better get him. Okay, you better find a way to get him, because if you don't, we will. That's what we're here for. That's what I think Manchester City's bid was. I think it was a message to Arsenal saying, hey, if you are going to get Declan Rice, okay, you better get him on this next bid, because if not, we're gonna get him. Now, West Ham is eating this up. We've got a bidding war, and that only benefits the selling club. And if you have a bidding war, when you have teams with deep pockets like Manchester City, not so much deep for Arsenal, that, like I said, it's just going to get more money for your team. So from that perspective, you have to look at it from Manchester City is probably saying, hey, Arsenal, we're here, we're interested, and we're going to make a better, improved bid, and we are going to see if we can take Declan Rice and convince him to come to Manchester City. And to be fair, it's not a difficult sell to go to Manchester City, to be fair. Okay, now the only thing that would turn down, be sour towards Manchester City, is the 125 charges that they have going against them. But that's going, who knows how long that's gonna take to figure out, 2 or 3 years. By the time that's done, Manchester City may have won the Premier League. Again, 2 or 3 more. Make a long story short, it's not that big of a deal right now. It's not probably a factor in Declan Rice. But if Declan Rice wants to go to Arsenal and is thinking of coming to Arsenal and loves Mikel Arteta and loves the plan that they have at Arsenal, then everything should play out perfectly fine. If Arsenal come in with a 95 million bid, in my opinion, plus 50 million add-ons, 110 million pounds, That should get it across the line, in my opinion. I'm no expert. I'm not going to claim I'm an expert, but that's what would get it across the line, in my opinion. That's the bid I would propose, not a 90 million plus 15 million. I'd go 95, 15 million in add-ons, 110 million pound package. That would get, I think, West Ham to agree to a term to sell Declan Rice to Arsenal, and then agree personal terms and get it over the finish line. But Manchester City is lurking, okay, and if Arsenal come with 95 plus, Manchester City could come with 110 plus, 10. They can do it any way they want, okay, and ultimately it's going to be West Ham who's going to make the decision, and Declan Rice is going to make the decision. Those are the two things, okay. First, you got to get West Ham to agree to it. Then you got to get Declan Rice to agree to it. That's how it's got to be. But anyway, that's where I stand right now. That's where I look at Manchester City and Arsenal fighting over Declan Rice. Hopefully it comes to Arsenal. From my perspective, I'd love to see him play at Arsenal. I'd love to see. Look, I'm going to be in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium watching Arsenal take on Barcelona, and I'd love to see Declan Rice play in that game. Okay, no question about it. But we'll see how it all pans out. Anyway, this is my 2 cents, my thoughts on Declan Rice coming to Arsenal or Manchester City and what's going on as far as the bidding war is concerned. Thanks for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe.